Welcome back, everyone, to our coverage of the Democratic Convention in Denver, Colorado. You can see the floor of the convention there, and we know there's been a bit of a scheduling shift. Former President Jimmy Carter is going to be taking the stage shortly, and he is going to be preceded by a video that he's participated in about New Orleans and the situation there. And I know James Carville is there in Denver, and James, you're back living in New Orleans now. Tell us what we're going to see tonight.
I'm sorry.
She was saying that you just moved back to New Orleans and that Jimmy Carter's video is going to be based in New Orleans. What do you think President Carter is going to be focusing on, and how important do you think New Orleans and Katrina is to this crowd?
Well, obviously I haven't seen the video, but I'm sure that he's going to show what happened when the levees broke as a result of negligence on the part of the Corps of Engineers and the federal government. I hope that it focuses on what we're doing, how we're rebuilding the levees there, and how they're going to be much safer, and also what we can do about coastal restoration. But I have no idea what it's going to say. I think that Katrina was a real seminal event in American political history, but because I think people lost a lot of faith in the federal government and its ability not just to respond to Katrina, but the negligence that was exhibited in flood protection and for New Orleans and St. Bernard and Jefferson Parish particularly.
We're also obviously coming up on the 3rd anniversary of Hurricane Katrina just a few days from now. How is the city doing as we're... Here's the Carter film. Let's watch.
Okay.
It's been 3 years since Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast. And we all know it was one of the worst and most destructive hurricane storms in history. You know, one of the most vivid lessons that we saw after Katrina was a sharp distinction in the economic and social status of citizens who lived here in this devastated area, with tens of thousands of suffering, poor people, most of them African American, with no care, and the federal government practically ignoring their plight. And it was not only a demonstration to Americans of the inadequacy of the support from Washington, but it sent a signal around the world that our own government couldn't take care of our own people. And to see this happen and to continue for 3 years has been very discouraging.
We are so honored that you took the time to come.
Well, thank you.
And it means a lot because we're not fixed.
Well, you know, that's the kind of thing I need to be able to tell the whole nation, because most people in America think everything's okay now.
Yes.
It's a lesson we ought ever to forget in this country, and I don't have any doubt that when we have a Democrat back in the White House this January, Barack Obama, that he will make sure that this never happens again.
Yeah. We don't have a bank. We don't have a supermarket. We don't have a hospital in this area. We have one small clinic. And we really need the thing that we need for this community to come back properly.
For the last 25 years since I left the White House, Rosa and I have worked full-time at the Carter Center. And we have programs in 71 countries on earth right now. Well, some of the things that we've seen in New Orleans after Katrina hit reminded us very much of the problem that we see in the poverty-stricken parts of the world.
There was no water known.
Yeah, I remember I was here.
Gas known.
Yeah.
Electricity. A lot of National Guard, and you couldn't come and live here.
That's right. Well, I've been down here to build homes side by side with these wonderful people in New Orleans who have never given up. Barack Obama's been down here to reach out to people, and his deep awareness of what's going on in the Gulf region, and his deep religious faith as a Christian, and his background as someone who's come from nowhere, you might say, to a high position in the political world. All of those, I think, bode well for America.
We still haven't collected from our insurance company,
well, that's
but
good.
We've gotten a lot of help from college students and volunteer groups. That's our biggest help.
Yeah, that's good. With the volunteers.
Yes, volunteers.
Yeah. The thing that needs to be done in the future, and that will be done under an Obama administration, is to heal this country. There would be a high priority of the basic rights of the working people of our country, not just the super rich. There would be a rational approach made toward resolving other crises like the energy crisis. The Democrats are for the working people, for those in need, to improve their quality of life.
We had 23 feet of water.
Goodness.
And we have been forgotten back here. But my hope and faith is to see my neighborhood come back better than what it was, because we did all of this.
I would say that the most redeeming feature of the aftermath of Katrina has been the indomitable spirit of the people who suffered most. They were abandoned by their governments. They took their own initiative. They didn't just sit back and wait for outside help. They welcomed tens of thousands of volunteers who came in as their partners when the government didn't do so. Their community spirit has been an inspiration to me and my wife, Rosen, every time we've ever been here.
You have to put yourself out there. You have to say, I don't know the beginning to the end.
There are people all over America and looking forward to an opportunity with the government's partnership. And the change that needs to be made next year is to have an administration in Washington that genuinely cares about the American people and their lives at this time and their future.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President Jimmy Carter.
The 39th President of the United States and Rosalind Carter they're being very, very warmly received by the Democrats who've gathered here. He was President of the United States from 1977 until 1981. In 2002, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for the advance of democracy and human rights. Anderson Cooper, they love Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter here on this night.
Certainly in this crowd on this night, it has brought the auditorium to their feet. Just about everybody is standing, waving their flags,